Welcome back to this new inspirational video. Today I wanted to talk about what it means to live up to your soul, because it's a very interesting aspect of our existence again. What does it mean to live up to your own soul? Have you ever thought about it? Because usually when we go through life, all that we're really living up to are the standards of society and not really the standards of our own soul. Now the soul, the spiritual self, is that part of us that wants us to express and do greater and greater things. It is that part of you where your dreams originate from. They come from within. You have them within yourself. So living up to your soul means to, of course, go for your dreams, making them come true in spite of what society might think of them. Now, hopefully your dreams are of a positive nature, so nothing bad will happen. But you see, if you still go for some great dream, it still might be tricky to go for it entirely. Now, what am I getting at? I started to think about this one issue I had throughout my life where I would work on goals and it would take me effort to really stay focused on them. There was so much stuff going on around me, or that I also wanted to do besides working on my dream itself, that I felt like it was a distraction in a way. So you might be having a normal day job, and then in that day job you have the certain responsibilities and you're working on them, and then you realize, well, I also have dreams that I want to manifest, but for now I don't have the time, so how am I going to make this happen? Well, the more you are in tune with your own soul, the less that actually will become an issue. Think about it. If you live up to your own soul, that means that you're going to do whatever needs to be done in order to make your dream a reality. Now, what needs to be done in your case? Only you will know. Your soul will know. It will tell you. That's what we're getting at. Your inner self, your spiritual self, always knows the answers to everything you physically face. So in my case, what started happening was that instead of worrying about all the other stuff that I have to do and then seeing it as a distraction of my dream, the more I zoomed in on my soul essence, knowing exactly why I live and what I aim on achieving, well, the easier it became for me to realize my goals in life. And that's the beautiful part. But that's what I started to discover, is that the more I focus on where I wanted to go, based on what my soul indicates, the easier it suddenly became for me to be involved in all sorts of activities without feeling that I'm wasting my time. Like, this is a very subtle thing to sort of put into words, but if I describe it from observation with other people currently even, is that they have a job, for example, and then they have a dream, but the job also takes a certain amount of attention from them, and then they feel like it takes away from their ability to work on their dream. But this is actually not true at all, because if you have a dream that really came from the soul, if you're obedient to your own soul essence that is inspiring you to go for that dream, well, then it's part of you no matter what, so you can never lose track or touch with it at all. So what's going to happen if you're really obedient to your soul is that you'll always find the time to do it. You see the subtle difference there? You will find the time to do it no matter what, instead of saying, I don't have the time. That's what happens with many people. They will say that they don't have the time, and that's why they don't manifest their dreams. But we don't have to live like that at all. If we're true to our souls, well, it's so obvious if you think about it. If you're true to your soul, well, then you can never make a mistake on this. So with me, with this YouTube channel, for example, I know it's true to my soul. The videos I make, they come from the soul. They come from my soul essence. So I don't have to really put in any effort to make them at all. When I say that, I mean I don't really have to give myself a pep talk to make them, where it's like, okay, let's make a video right now. I gotta make this video. It's like, maybe some people need to do that, but I really don't, because this all flows from within outwardly into, well, in this case, into video format for me. And it's because it comes from the soul. I'm obedient to my soul. I'm living up to my own soul and what it wants. This is something you have to consider for yourself, what that activity would be for you. Because once you do figure it out, it's going to become increasingly more easy for you to just act on your dreams without feeling so much worry, doubts, and almost like you have to motivate yourself constantly to get going, to start. This is where most people always fail. There was a quote, I forgot who said it, but it was like, the start is where most people stop, right? They have the dream in their minds, but then they don't ever take action on that. Well, we can have many dreams. Ultimately, we want to make sure that the dream we hold is really true to our own hearts, is really something that comes from the heart, from within, and not just because we see somebody else being successful with it, we want to achieve it as well. That's okay too, to have dreams like that, but at the end of the day, it's more valuable to at least make sure that your dream came from the soul, because if it comes from the soul, it comes from who you really are, and who you really are is something you can never get away from anyway. So you see, what's going to happen is that you'll keep expressing your dream, no matter the circumstances that you're in. And then you start to see stuff manifest and materialize in your physical world. So living up to your soul means living up to your truest, greatest desires. And this is not something you think about. You don't think up like, oh, this is what my soul wants. This is something you have to feel. Now, if I would say feel, I would actually point to my chest almost. You have these chakra points on the body, energy points. I point to the heart chakra, literally, no joke. That's where I feel. I feel it both in my chest and in my stomach area, you could say. We're not talking about physically that I feel there in my organs, don't get me wrong. I'm talking symbolically, like in that area of energy, that's where I feel my ideas and words rise up from. So I don't think about it from the head, you could say, but from the heart. This is all symbolically. And that's how my ideas now flow. So I can be doing something like watching a movie or playing a game or chatting with some friends. You know, in the past, I would think that would be almost wasting my time in a way. It sounds kind of harsh, especially if we're talking with other people, because it's not a waste of time necessarily. But I would feel like, oh, I have to work on my dream. I have to work on my dream. I would always be so obsessed with it. But now I'm no longer obsessed in that manner. I can just indulge in those activities and know that if I stop the activity, I can easily step back into what I want to do career-wise, what I want to do with my career goals and with this YouTube channel, for example, because it's so much part of me. It's so much expressing who I really am that, you know, there's no effort needed to express that. Now, if you find that for yourself, that is when you can truly live up to your own soul. That is the true meaning, at least I think, of living up to one's own soul, to the highest good that they can, well, comprehend inside their minds. You were born with these insights of what to do. You weren't born to be lost, but we were taught not to follow our own hearts and to listen to our own mind and souls. That's the sad part, the sad reality of this physical world as it is for many centuries, or maybe even from the beginning of humanity, if you think about it. And 1,000 years from now, odds are there's still going to be people, or in general that society might still not be living up to their highest good, and people are going to be raised without learning these ideas and how to really make use of their own minds and soul in a right way, in a beneficial, beautiful way. So I hope you take this to heart and consider it for yourself, because living up to your own soul is something only you can answer what it means. If I were to ask you, what does it mean? Well, you can only answer the sort of things and activities that would be part of your soul essence. But you can consider for yourself already, while listening to this video, have I been true to that? Or have I been feeling that certain activities are in the way of me living up to my highest good? Because as you're thinking those thoughts, they take over your mind to a certain extent and block your ability to perceive and express that dream that is inside your mind. But if you go beyond that, if you know clearly what you're meant to do, what you're born to do, well, then you can always fall back on that and take action on it. Even if you've been distracted for a little while with other activities, you can just take action whenever you feel like it, because it's already a part of you. I think one easy way to describe this is that we don't want to become workaholics where we feel like we have to work on our dreams constantly. Like, I have to work on this, I have to keep working on this. Like, you're putting in this constant effort in a negative way. Because being a workaholic is actually pretty negative. It has to become a free flowing of ideas within true you. That's actually what I'm getting at now that I think about it, because for me, that's what I sort of became, a workaholic, where I felt like everything else that wasn't in alignment with my dream was bad. But it isn't necessarily bad. But by thinking that, I would also be a little more frustrated than I needed to be if I just obeyed and lived up to my soul. And now that I'm living up to my soul, it becomes a free flow of ideas, making videos, working on stuff, inspiring other people, and doing other fun stuff with friends and whatever else I might think of. And it's just such a huge difference for me ever since I found what my soul wants to express compared to when I thought I was going for what I wanted. This is what we're getting at. This is the difference between someone that lives up to their own soul or where we are going for dreams that we just think we should go for. Then the road can become full of struggles in a certain way. Like, it's a very subtle way, but it's just frustrating to the soul. Now, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.